Hello students, welcome to my channel. So in this chapter of carbon and its compounds, I have covered many subtopics, and today I'll start with this new subtopic, which is combustion. So children, you'll come across many fuels that you use in your daily life, in your daily activities, right from the kitchen. The gas that you will use to cook food, to prepare your food, is nothing but a fuel which is made up of carbon compound. And transport, you travel from home to school using a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, bus, whatever. The fuel used is nothing but petrol or diesel, so it's carbon compound. So there are so many uses that we use, like candles, so many number of items that we use which are nothing but carbon and its compounds used as fuel for our daily use. So let us study this chemical property of carbon and its compounds, which is nothing but combustion. So children, before I begin with, I'd like to show you all something. So observe this flame very carefully. So you can see that the flame has two colors. So this is combustion, and also observe carefully that this flame is having two colors. So at the bottom it's having a blue color, and on the top it's yellow in color. So observe this carefully, right? So even when you light a matchstick, the flame will be yellow in color, and at the bottom it would be slightly blue in color. So children, always make these observations around you, things that you will observe in your daily life, and this is nothing but chemistry. So chemistry is not only the theory that we are studying and the chemical equation, but it is day-to-day activities. You can relate it to your life, to your daily life. Things that you will use around you are nothing but chemistry. It is correlated. So even when your mother is preparing food for you, when you go in the kitchen, just observe the flame of the gas. It will appear to be blue in color, at times little yellow in color. So ask these questions to yourself, observations that you make around you, and when you ask questions to yourself, science will answer these questions. So let us understand this in depth. So carbon, like fuels that we use, carbon compounds, they react with the oxygen in the environment. Like I lit a flame just now. So don't do this at home, but this is just for your observation. This is for you to understand this concept much better. So don't do all these experiments at home, be very careful. So what you observed, that a flame is lit, right? So carbon compounds react with the oxygen in the environment. Carbon reacts with oxygen in the environment to give carbon dioxide. And what did you all observe? There was a flame. So heat is produced and light. So because of the heat produced, there is light produced, right? So another example, methane. Methane is a big component of biogas. Biogas has its several uses, since we are already aware of it, for fuel, for many uses, biogas. So methane is the major component of biogas. Methane reacts with oxygen, and methane also can be produced at home. Waste matter like leaves, garden debris, and food, all these things, when they decompose and many processes, it undergoes many chemical reactions. That is how methane is produced. So let's not get into detail into that. It's just an example. It reacts to give carbon dioxide, water, the form of vapor and heat and light. Another example is ethanol. So all these examples, like when you light a matchstick, it ignites, so there is heat, there is flame that is produced. So carbon reacts with oxygen in the environment, and this is nothing but combustion. Both combined together, they form carbon dioxide and giving out heat and light. And also water is produced in the form of vapor with these two examples. So children, you all will conduct an experiment in your school laboratory. So take these carbon compounds, naphthalene, camphor and alcohol. So take these three compounds and place it on a spatula and burn it, and just observe the nature of the flame and also whether there is smoke produced. So take a metal plate and place it on the top of the flame and observe whether there is deposition of some matter. So when you perform these experiments, then you will make some observations, some conclusion you will reach to. So you will observe that there is a sooty deposit on the metal plate. So we reach to a conclusion that when it is a saturated carbon compound, will give a clean flame during combustion, whereas unsaturated carbon compound will give a yellow flame with lots of smoke. So the conclusion that is drawn from the experiment is that saturated carbon compounds will give a clean flame, whereas unsaturated carbon compounds will give a yellow flame with lots of smoke and with lots of sooty substance which is liberated. Another experiment that you all will perform in your lab, that just take a Bunsen burner and just adjust the air holes of this burner and just make your observations. Check the flame, how it changes, the color of the flame. You will observe that the flame is either blue in color or appears yellow in color, and the moment you change the air holes. So this is nothing because of incomplete combustion. So whenever there's a yellow flame which is produced, it's because of incomplete combustion. So oxygen is definitely required, right, for combustion. So when oxygen supply is there, when there's abundance of oxygen supply, the combustion is complete, and that's where the fuel is not lost. You will get a blue flame. Like even if you observe in the kitchen when your mom is preparing food, just observe the gas, the flame of the gas. It will appear either blue in color or sometimes maybe little yellow in color. Observe the color of the flame. So when it is blue in color, there is complete combustion happening because there's abundance of oxygen, oxygen supply. And when it is yellow in color, there is wastage of the fuel. It's incomplete combustion. So children, by both of these experiments that are conducted, we reach to the conclusion that when there is saturated carbon compounds are burnt, the flame is clean, and when it is unsaturated, the flame is yellow, giving smoke which is produced a sooty substance. And also the air supply, this oxygen required for combustion, the color would be different of the flame. Incomplete combustion results in yellow flame, whereas complete combustion results in a blue flame. So even if it's a saturated carbon compound and there is deficit of oxygen, then it would result in an incomplete combustion. So another observation that you all should make, or you all must have made, firecrackers which are used in during festivals or also in a celebration. So these firecrackers have, a specific color. There are many colors that are being seen. So even when you conduct an experiment in the lab, like when you burn copper, hold a copper wire on a burner and just observe the flame and make these observations. Observe the color of the flame. So the color of the flame will depend on the element. So even in firecrackers, they have that different shades of colors. It's because of the elements present in it. So combustion depends on the supply of oxygen. It results in incomplete and complete combustion, and also it depends on the compound, whether it's saturated or it's unsaturated. It would give complete and incomplete combustion, observed by the color of the flame and the liberation of smoke. So children, just observe this carefully. So you can see the color of this flame, right? It's giving a different color, right? It's because of the fuel that is used. And also observe this. See the color of the flame? Like I explained, it's complete and incomplete combustion. Also you will observe this in the gas in the kitchen. Children, I got something more for you all. So all of you all must have observed this, right? So this is an agarbatti, and just observe this agarbatti when it is lit. How does it burn as in comparison with a matchstick? So initially when it is lit, it is a flame, and after that when it's put off, it is just a red glow that you will observe on it. So another observation that you all should make is when there is barbecue that is prepared and there is coals that are used, charcoals, right? You all must have observed this. When there is barbecue or tandoori, whatever is prepared, there is charcoals that are used, and initially when you light it, it is giving a yellow flame, and after some time then it just appears to give a glow, a red kind of glow. So make these observations and ask questions to yourself that why, and then we'll relate it to our chemistry. So substances like wood and charcoal, when you light it, it gives a flame. It's because of the volatile substances present in them. So when these volatile gases are burnt, then it gives a yellow flame, and afterwards it won't give a flame, but it will just glow. That is because of these volatile gases, they get evaporated, they get burnt off. So agarbattis are also, it's a material used to make agarbatti, charcoals. It's a substance used, and that's the reason I gave this example. Since you all make these observations, you all come across these products in your daily life, then definitely you will understand chemistry, nothing difficult. Another example, some more small little observations that you all should make. So if you all happen to go for picnics and you all cook food outside. Then you will cook food with some twigs, wood, whatever, charcoal, and you will observe some black thing that is formed on the vessel below. So this is nothing but because of the incomplete combustion and also because of the fuel that is used. So make these observations: different fuels, saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds. Also the same thing can be observed in the kitchen, some utensils. So kitchen utensils, they will have a black color underneath, some carbon that is deposited. So that is nothing but because of the combustion. So observe the flame in the kitchen, the gas flame. Observe the vessels. When it becomes black, it's because of some reason. Then observe the coals when they are lit. Initially they have a color, flame, yellow color, and after that it just gives a red glow. Observe the agarbatti, observe firecrackers, ask the question why does it give a color, different shades of color. It's because of different elements that are used. Also when copper is lit, this experiment conducted in the lab, copper gives a different flame. So the color of the flame depends on the element, on the substance. So children, in this explanation we have observed so many things, and nothing new but things that we see in our daily life, things that we come across in our daily life activities, and we should draw these conclusions from the observations that we make around us, and that is how you will relate it to your science. It's nothing difficult, but it's simple concept, and that's how we can understand this topic of combustion. So children, if you all have any doubts regarding my explanation, then drop your comments down below and I'll try to reply to you all at the earliest. So I'll see you all in my next class, and stay updated, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all next time.